This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
If you kind of look deeper at the situation, you know, which I'm sure you will, because everything that we go through is an experience that we learn from.
And Justin Burke.
I come right in. I'm very sneaky about it. You'll be talking to someone and I'll just come in and sit at my desk and just bust one out real quick.
It is the 6th of February, 2024. My name is Corey Winfield.
Justin Burke.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Justin, you're becoming a regular.
I know.
You can add this to your list of duties and your job title.
I think it's been there for like a month or so now.
Yeah.
Because we try to do one at least once a week.
So if Marnie's the co-host, you'd just be like another co-host?
I'm guessing.
Or a guest? Because you're on too much to be a guest anymore.
Right.
And your name is in the open.
Right.
So, all right, well, welcome.
Thanks.
Another co-host.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you can hear the 217 Recovery Center doorbell ringing. That's where we're at the North Studio today. And Justin, we were just talking about going over responsibilities and things that you don't want to do, but that you have to do, and how goals change.
Yeah.
Because you had some goals planned for yourself this year, and we went over those. But they have to change.
Yeah.
The IRS kind of helps that.
Yeah, with no lube.
Yeah. And getting your taxes in order and all that. It's A, scary, B, frustrating. You want to add something else to that?
Too much money to spend to have someone help you with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, okay, I know I owe the IRS whatever. But on top of that, yeah, like you said, you're paying a ton of money for other people to just try to help you figure it out and try to get you on the right path. And we've all heard those commercials on TV or heard them on the radio and seen them on TV where they're like, you owe the IRS money, don't pay them. Let us figure it out, blah, 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 blah. And then you call them and then they're like, okay, well, before we figure anything out, you have to pay me a bunch of money.
Yeah. $500.
Damn.
The one I chose. And that's just to get the information to do their little investigation that they're going to do. And then it's a bunch more money for them to actually do the work.
Did you tell them that you're going to need to see like a timesheet?
Yeah, they sent me one with my payment schedule. And they said they'll submit it like around the 1st of August. Because my final payment won't be until July 16th.
Just to pay them?
Yeah.
Damn. But I want to see how many hours they're working on it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see how many hours you put in on this. So they're like, I spent like 10 minutes on it. I just submitted something to the government.
Well, I do have like 3 or 4 years I didn't file taxes too. So that's like $400 a year.
Okay. Now, you couldn't do any of this on your own?
Well, I probably could, but I don't have the information.
Why don't you pay me? You can pay me.
I should have. But you just calculate numbers so where it's in the favor.
Shh. Shh. Let's not do that. Let's not do that today.
Got all your asses.
Yeah, let's just leave that work.
But I'm just going to leave it to the professionals, just let them deal with it. I really don't have time on top of it.
Well, I'm a professional. I could do it for you.
Yeah?
Because you were telling me like you can't find, because I was helping you find the EIN number for the businesses that you used to work at.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can't just Google it. You can't just find it online. And then would it take me a couple minutes, 5 minutes?
But the EIN numbers that you found online through Lara are different than what the federal IRS has for an EIN number. Yes, sir.
No, then they're different places.
I cross-referenced them.
I don't believe you because you couldn't even find it. And those are from the state of Michigan. What's your EIN number? That's it. Like 217 Recovery. We just have one. But some of those places that I was like, was it this one? Was that one? And I picked the one that was in Traverse City because you said, like, for example, the auto wash place.
Yeah.
There was like 4 names for them. 2 of them were in Traverse City. So could it be the other one? Probably. Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know. But I did give you some numbers.
Yeah.
And so you were telling me it was impossible to even get those.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying I could help you with your taxes. Just give me $5,500.
You're going to deal with the IRS for me?
Yup.
Sign power of attorney over to you?
Yup.
Okay.
I got you. I'll do it. I'll use my new Apple computer that I'm going to buy with your money.
Oh.
You know, I just need to pay it off in a year. So just give me that money by July. Run on schedule. Should be good. No, but in all seriousness, though, you have to take care of these things, and it's not the funnest thing to do.
No.
It's horrible, really, sometimes, and it feels like it. But in a year from now, when this shit's taken care of, you're going to have a huge sigh of relief, and you're not going to let it slip anymore, and you're going to take care of your stuff. And that's part of growing up, and that's part of being in recovery and making that change.
Yeah.
Because if you just wanted to just let it keep going on how it's always been going on, eventually it will catch up to you, just like everything else in life. So to let it build up isn't the way to go, but to face it, to do some stuff you don't want to do.
Right.
But in the end, it's going to pay off.
Right. Because we know, like, most garnishments can only do, what, like 25% of your check? I don't think the IRS necessarily has a limit on how much they can garnish your checks, from what my uncle told me when he had back tax issues of failure to pay the IRS or something because his ex-wife was doing his taxes, and he ended up working, like, for free one whole year because he garnished, like, his whole paycheck.
Damn. I don't know the rules of that. I should, though, since I'm officially taking on your case, but don't worry about it. It'll be all right.
And so just his horror story of the IRS and putting it off. And I logged on there because I was digging into my taxes to figure out what I had to do. And when you go to their website and you log in, it had a nice, pretty banner across the top of my page that said, "We're about to seize and levy all your accounts and seize all your assets." Which, granted, I have no assets. But because I'm paying for a car I bought from a buy here, pay here place. Fabulous. Which isn't quite so fabulous. But, you know, so I have no assets. But if I lose all my monthly income due to the IRS garnishing me, I have no vehicle to get back and forth to work. Can't afford to eat, you know, and
Man,
yeah, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. But now that you're taking the bull by the horns, isn't so they say, then you can get it done and do the stuff that you need to. What were we also talking about when I was like, oh, hold on, let's save that for the podcast? Oh, yeah.
Oh, our new addition to the office.
Yeah.
I noticed you and Marnie have nice name plaques.
Yeah, we do.
And I remember last March when we came and looked. Well, we looked at the place last February.
Almost a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got it in March, and you're like, yeah, we're all going to have name plaques. And someone hung art around my door. And so there's no room for a name plaque, which I think was on purpose.
What? No, I like the place to look nice and to have art. And the one is very controversial.
Yeah.
The one that's over by you. It has they were sex workers. Mm-hmm. And they were getting a line tattooed across their back.
Yep.
And this artist he's way out there and very out there, let's just say. He gave them enough money to go buy heroin if they would get a line tattooed across their back. And they did it. And that, to me, that shows how powerful addiction is and what people are willing to do. And it has the whole story about the guy and all that. I have a QR code. People can scan it right on our wall.
Yeah, I read the story. I just don't remember it.
Looks pretty cool, though.
It does.
Right outside your office.
Yep.
And your office is kind of in the back because I wanted to put that up front, but I figured a lot of people would just see and go, what is this? And they wouldn't scan it. Mm-hmm. But that's over there where people actually have to walk over and look at it and go, oh, what's this?
Right.
So that's that. And then the other one is the picture of all of us, but not you. I don't think you're in the other one, are you?
No.
No, because you were too busy
That was
staying somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we went to UFAM rally like 2 years ago, and that's a picture from there.
Yep.
Very important picture. It was a great time that we had.
It was.
And we drove the ATS van.
Yep, the mobile unit.
Down. And that has 217 recovery on it, which was very awesome. And we were doing like outreach at the shelter here. And it's a very important piece right by your office. And you just act like you don't care. You'd rather have your name plaque up there.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, you can just throw it on the door.
Yeah.
Like ours is like mounted on the wall, like outside of our doors. I think that looks great, but you're there's no room for you and Adam.
Because you filled it with art.
Yeah. But I mean, who needs to know where your office is at?
I guess being the transportation director really doesn't matter.
Yeah, like who comes here to see the transportation director?
Not too many people, but I get a lot of emails.
Yeah. Well, you do have an email that says 217 Recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just email Justin at 217recovery.com.
Please do.
Yeah, send him a name plaque picture. No, but we'll see. Maybe I got some surprises coming for you that you just don't know about.
I hope. I hope it's that nice corner office.
You do have a corner
the view
office
of the bay
Oh,
that we talked about yesterday in our couple-year plan.
yeah. Got to dream big, man. Got to dream big. A lot of people have a hard time with that. And in early recovery, it's, I don't want to say dangerous to dream big, because I don't think it is. It's dangerous to dream something that's unrealistic. Like if I was like in treatment, I'm like, you know what? I want to be the fastest man in the world, and I'm going to practice at running.
Right.
That would be horrible. First, I hate running. And I would never be the fastest person in the world. That's just stupid. That's unachievable. Oh, with
Exactly.
God, you can do everything and anything. God has his limits.
Yeah,
You know,
like you have to put in the work to be able to get it.
yeah. And God would also say, that's not my plan for you.
Right.
I didn't build you to be the fastest person in the world, Corey. You know, stop it. That's why you don't like running. I was going to make you a professional ice cream taster, but you get carried away.
Right. Diabetes took over.
Yeah, it would. I used to think that I could eat all the ice cream I wanted in one sitting because your body would flush out all the rest of it. Kind of like if I was drinking, you know, your body would just shut down. Eventually you would pass out, you know, because your body can't get rid of the alcohol. And then I thought, but that would work the same. Like I would eat all this ice cream, but none of the calories would count because your body can only do so much and it would just flush the rest of it out.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but then like I heard about like diabetic coma, and I was like, oh yeah, probably that would happen first. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably why I would pass out. So yeah, it wasn't a good idea. That was back in my early recovery days when I had like 3-4 months clean. I thought that was a good idea.
Right. But setting obtainable goals to reach bigger goals is well worth it in recovery.
Yeah, it really is.
And by obtainable goals, I mean like baby steps to reach something bigger that we want to get to.
I think Marnie and I were talking about the other day, or maybe you and I were talking about that last podcast that we did about like if you have a goal and you want to do something, you know, you got to figure out, okay, well, here's what I want to do. How am I going to get there? You know, with me, and I've brought this up millions of times, I'm going to make a movie. Well, first I want to buy a book on how to write a script.
Yeah, you just talked about this on Saturday.
Yeah. So like you have to set those things up, and then guess what? You're going to be surprised about all the other stuff you have to do. And it was like when I started the nonprofit, when I started the business, I had to do that. Went down to the courthouse and I went to some department of that. I can't remember even what it was, but I had to like get like a permit or a license or something. I had to register my business with the county. That's what I had to do. And it was like $15 or something. And from there, then I could go on. I already had my EIN number, but then I had to do like a couple other things. I had to register it with the state and blah, blah, blah. But there were different steps that you have to do to achieve your goal. And then I would look online and I have to do this and I have to do that. And it was just a steady. And like right when I would get to the point where, all right, I can move forward with this. And nope. Now you got to get incorporated. Oh, Jesus. Now you need this. Now you need that number. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have that number. But those are the things I had to do. And it wasn't overnight. Like you said, it was kind of piecing it together and moving forward. So if you can have patience, a clear mind of kind of what you want, and the determination to figure out what you need to do to get there and to go do those things you need to do to get there. But you can do a lot of different things though. And people will say, you can do anything. Yeah, some things. But yeah, I didn't just pray to God. I'm like, God, let this stuff work out. No, I pray, please, Lord, let me get paid one day, but let me help people. You know, and like when I would pray on the way to Alpena, for example, to go to Sunrise to take somebody or pick somebody up, you know, there's a 2.5 hour trip where I'm by myself, you know, and I would be praying like, Lord, I don't know when I'm going to get paid, but boy, it sure would be nice to have a paycheck, you know, like, I don't know how much longer we can do this, but as long as I can help people, Lord, and get them to their next stop and get them on their way and shed some inspiration, share some hope with them from my journey and my battles with alcohol, then perfect. This is gonna be great, you know, and just keep me in mind,
Right?
Because rent's gonna be due again.
I remember those days because I was hounding you for a job. You're like, yeah, that's funny. And you'd laugh at me. I'm like, no, I'm being serious. You're like, well, maybe one day. And like, we just kept sitting back and waiting. And like, it does really work. But you have to work for it. Like, it wasn't just handed to you.
No.
Not by any means. You had an idea and you put forth the effort to get to it, you know. And like, I remember watching a movie, you may have watched it when you were growing up, where the red fern grows. No. It was about this little boy who wanted coon hunting dogs, and he asked his grandpa how to get them, and he said, well, God's only going to do so much for you, but you have to meet him halfway. And this boy worked day and night doing whatever he could do to save up money to get his coon dogs. But he actually put forth the work and effort to be able to get to it. And he ended up getting 2 coon dogs throughout the movie. It was nice.
Yeah. That is pretty much what has to happen sometimes. And that's exactly what I did. And, you know, I didn't give up. I was discouraged a lot. But even when we were told, hey, you know, you guys are going to be funded to do transportation, you know, it's like, all right, I remember I was telling you about it. And I was like, but I don't know when. And that was frustrating as hell. And it's like, just hang in there, man. Like, something is coming. I can feel it.
Right.
I was told it's coming, but I don't know when. And it's just frustrating sometimes, but you can't give up. And if it's anything worth doing is going to be hard.
Yes.
And whether it's hard mentally, emotionally, physically, there's going to be some kind of pushback to what you're wanting and what you're going after. And when that pushback comes, can you take it? Are you going to wilt under the pressure? Or are you going to bounce back and do even better and learn from that pushback that, okay, well, that's not the way to do that, but here's the way I could go with it. I mean, it just happens every day in life. Everything doesn't go your way all the time.
Like, there's easy roads and hard roads, you know. I mean, you can take the easy road, but that thing's going to get hard eventually and get really hard and end you up in trouble 90% of the time, you know, especially in our background of addiction. Like, it will. But we take the hard road in the beginning, that thing turns pretty easy after we start taking the steps to work on ourselves. Like, it really does. I used to explain that to people all the time in treatment, and then when I worked in the jails for a while talking to people, I'm like, yeah, you're all in here because you took the easy road. Like, straight up, you guys took the easy road in life. The hard road would have been going and getting a job, saving up money to do things the right way. But no, we wanted to go out and sell dope and do this and that. But that's the easy road. And we know what the easy road gets us. It gets us right back here. The hard road, learning about ourselves and everything else, it is hard. It's mentally draining. It's physically draining some days, but it gets better.
And when you can look back and realize you did things the right way and you're kind of proud of what you did. Like, when I look back at the stuff that I had to do, you know, I'm proud of it. That just this weekend, you know, because some people will look at me who don't know me and they're like, oh, this guy's just, 217 recovery. They just like to have fun in recovery. That's whatever. They don't do nothing. It's stupid. He's just, you know, giving all this stuff, and he was giving a building, and he was giving microphones. And no, I wasn't. I wasn't giving anything.
Not by any
man.
chance.
But a lot of people don't understand that. And there's a gentleman here over the weekend when I was here, and Mitch was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, I met Corey. You know, Corey gave me a ride to treatment. And Mitch was like, oh, when was that? Like last April or something? He was like, nah, it was like 3 years ago. You know, Mitch was like, what? He was like, yeah. He was like, back then, Corey just had the podcast and, you know, he was giving people rides in his own vehicle. Mm-hmm. And Mitch was like, well, but I heard Mitch kind of like, it kind of surprised Mitch even, you know, and Mitch works here, you know, but I don't run around telling Mitch all the stuff that I did and this and that, you know, because that's kind of pointless. But at the same time, it was kind of funny to hear him like, oh, what? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's how long Corey's been doing this. You know, and,
no kidding.
And now coming up on a year just about of when we started like really putting things in motion and hiring people, and when we were able to hire people to do transportation rides, you know, and I could work on actually building the company out a little bit more and moving us forward in different directions. So it's exciting and it's scary at the same time, but I'm going to do all that I can to make that happen.
Right.
You know, and I think it'll be nice. Marnie's going to be around a lot more.
I can't wait.
I know that's going to be awesome. And then we got a little child on the way, a little son coming in May, which is crazy. It's going to blow my mind. So there's a lot of changes and a lot of things that I'm not even going to see coming, good and bad.
Right.
You know, but just to be blessed to be here today, I mean, that's crazy. You know, we could both be dead right now. We could have it could have been easy for both of us to be dead.
I'm sure you tried just as hard as I tried in my active use, you know, because you hit that point, like, what's there left to live for?
Yeah. I was talking at Detox today, and I was telling them that at one point I was drinking because the doctors told me first they said, hey, you drink again, your liver isn't going to process the alcohol like it did. Like it's going to take forever. It's going to hurt and it's going to be painful. You're going to feel sick. And it could seize up and it's not coming back on if it does. Like you got lucky with it coming back on this time. Like don't push it. And I still pushed it. And I remember thinking, well, I've lived a pretty good life. You know, I was on the radio and I met some people, did some things that were really cool. And for me to think a job makes you who you are, that's stupid. Like a job made me have a good life. No. I didn't even know what life was, man. I had spent 20 years just walking through it drunk. And to think that, because I met some famous people that I know what life's about and that I had a good life when I had never been married.
Right.
I'd never had children. Like that's what life's about, building relationships with people and learning how to deal with life, you know, but getting married and having a child on the way, that's what life's about, man. And, you know, helping other people.
Yeah, I was about to say, getting involved in your own community that you live in to pay it forward from our life lessons learned. Like we volunteer at the homeless shelter on the weekends to show them that it is possible to live a better life and guide them through how to obtain it. You know, I don't want to say we're going to do work for them, but guide them, give them phone numbers, because they have to want it just as much as we want it for them.
Somebody sent me something over the weekend too, and it said, it was like this AI voice. It was on TikTok or something. And it was like, you know, in 100 years from now, in 2124, the house that you live in, someone else will live in that. And all the stuff that you bought, and it'll be thrown away and blah, blah, blah. Nobody will remember you. And for the most part, that could be true. And then it got to the point where your descendants won't even know who you are. And that's when I stopped it. And I was like, nope. And I kind of got this from Steve Harvey, who a lot of people are hating on with Cat Williams, saying he stole his jokes and all that stuff. But he says some stuff sometimes that inspires me, and that's all that really matters. But he was saying that he wanted to be the person that when he's dead and gone, and his great-great-grandkids come walking through the house, and there's a picture of him on the wall, and they're like, who's that? And they're like, that's your great-great-great-grandpa Steve Harvey, and this is what he did, and this is what he came for, and this is what he did, blah, blah, blah. And I want that same kind of thing. You know, I want to be able to change my life for the better, to where have, you know, my great-great-grandchildren walk through and see a cool-ass picture of my sexy little face and be like, who's that sexy monster beast? And they'll be like, oh, that's your great-great-great-grandpa, Corey Winfield. He was about dead and in the gutter, and changed his life around and gave all the credit to God because he said he couldn't have done it himself. And yeah, he started this thing and it helped people, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
He was voted like the who's who of Traverse City or something, I don't even know. Plaque's outside. It's in the front office, but and then that one, the who's who of the other thing, it's like, okay, that's cool. I didn't even want to hang it up, but I did. But those are the things that we can do, well, hell, that's just all we can do in life. I think that might be the whole point of life, is like, what can you do to make it better for other people? And I don't know how to build cell phones. I don't know how to do technology stuff, but I pulled myself out of the gutter with alcoholism and drugs and addiction. So that can help a lot of people.
Right.
And if I just help one person, that's cool. But I think I've helped at least two.
Right.
So you just have to look at it like that. And what can you do? Well, that's what I can do. And yeah, we all die. Like, we'll all be forgotten at some point. Like, it is what it is. But this is what I can do now, and this is how I can move myself forward in the little time that we do have here. And to really, I don't want to say make up for lost time, but because a lot of us feel that way. Like, oh, I wasted 20 years. Well, can't do nothing about that.
No.
Just appreciate the time you do have. Especially Toby Keith just died yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking to my father, and that's what he said.
Yeah.
He was like, Toby Keith died. I'm like, no. He's like, it's all over the news, all over here. I guess he had stomach cancer a couple years ago. And then he got feeling better. He was going to go back out on tour.
Yeah, he released a tour schedule and everything.
And then got sick again and just died in the middle of the night. Like, really fast, I guess.
So don't drink out of red Solo cups.
Yeah, exactly.
Gives you stomach cancer.
And we know what's in those red Solo
allegedly.
cups.
That gives you all kinds of cancer. And not that that's what caused that, but dude, I have stomach problems. And I heard that and I'm like, uh-oh. Because no knock on Munson, but this might sound like a knock on Munson because maybe it is. But I don't trust that they found what's wrong with my stomach. And it still hurts all the damn time. And I just wonder, because all the stuff, of course, you Google stuff, you get who knows what. But it freaks me out because they're like, oh, it could be pancreatic cancer. And the doctors, they can never find it. It's really hard until it's too late.
Right.
I'm like, but I'm telling them it hurts. And they're just looking at me like, oh, what, you want some pills? We're not doing that. I'm like, well, I don't want pills. I just want my stomach to stop hurting.
Maybe ask your doctor to get a second opinion from a totally different hospital system.
Go down to Fort Smith and have them check it out for me.
Well, I was thinking maybe like
you saved my life once, do it again. Because Fort Smith, Arkansas, they do have good medical stuff there.
Or even U of M.
Yeah. But then Priority Health, really not my favorite insurance company. They'll be like, oh, well, you got to have the cancer clause. You have to have the cancer clause in there, and you don't have that, so we're not going to pay for any of that.
Well, I don't think we can really help with that.
Was it the option? Sarah Bush is calling me.
You should pause the podcast.
Okay, we're pausing the podcast. Anyway, we're back after taking a call from Sarah Bush.
That was wonderful.
Yes, it was. It was a good call, and that was setting up a ride from somebody to come out of treatment across the other side of the state.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. Even in the middle of a podcast, I'll answer a phone sometimes. Now, and I have no idea what we were talking about before, but I'm sure it was really good and insightful.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much longer I can keep you here off the clock because you're putting in a long day today.
I always have long days. I'm used to it anymore.
All right. Well, we're going to work on your commercial this week, hopefully. Mitch's Facebook took it down, and so did Instagram. I guess they're owned by the same people. Yeah, because they said that I was selling counterfeit products, which I'm not selling anything. We just made a spoof video.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they can sell fake Carhartt stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, and they can have like fake people make fake accounts and me report them every day, and then nothing happens about that.
And then these sweet Adidas shoes I showed you.
Yeah.
That I couldn't even find on the Adidas website, but they're brand new 2024 Adidas, but nowhere on their website they were at.
And then you told me they were Nikes, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name was actually a Nike name.
Yeah. Thanks, Facebook. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I told them that I didn't appreciate Mark Zuckerberg and I didn't appreciate their bots.
I think I'm going to switch over to X.
Yeah. I don't really like that either. But they didn't take the I don't know if I put it on X. I did dip my toe in the water of TikTok.
Ooh,
Yeah. I put Mitch's video on there.
nice.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Mitch's video, it's also on our app, which is a free app, which you can check out, 217recovery.com if you need a link for it. Or just go in the App Store, Google Play Store, 217 Recovery. Download it. But then you go to the video section, which is on the very right of the screen when you get the app. Watch videos. Quite a few videos on there.
Nice.
And just about every single podcast we have done since 2019. So
Yay.
lots to listen to and lots of cool stuff to check out. But the video is inspired by a real story that happened from Mitchell and by a commercial for Blue de Chanel or something like that. Yeah, that I saw and I thought, this is ridiculous. This cologne commercial is absolutely ridiculous. I would never buy this cologne just because this commercial is so stupid. And then they sent me some smellers in the mail and I smelled it and I said, damn, that's good. I'm going to get me some of that. So I bought some. And Marnie got it for me for Christmas. So it was good.
Yeah. After you say you're not going to buy it and you buy it anyways after you smell the product.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm telling you guys about the commercial and we're like just laughing our asses off. And I messed up and said the dude was wearing a jean jacket. It was like a leather jacket, but that made the story even funnier when I was telling the story about it. And
Yeah.
he's wearing his little jean jacket, and the guys are like, "A jean jacket?" I'm like, "Oh no, a leather jacket, but still." And then Mitch, he's already like planning his second fragrance.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, his first one's called Bear, Bare, and that's a play on blue, which they spell BLEU. So we spell Bear BARE, even though it's supposed to be BEAR.
Got ya.
Or is it?
Who knows?
It's a puzzle for everyone to figure out. But he's already doing his next one, and he wants to call it Black. I don't even want to spoil it. But there might be a jean jacket involved that I'm going to buy him with my own money.
Are you?
Yeah, because I think Mitch would look great in a jean jacket.
One size too small?
He's always going to want to go jacket off.
Yep. For sure.
Maybe that could be the scent of his bear, his new product. Jacket off. And see, this is like the fun that we have in recovery. And if we can laugh like that, because this for a lot of years, I wasn't able to laugh really.
No.
And now to just sit back and do silly things and create silly things, it's fun, man. It really is. And that's why we do what we do. So
That's why I'm glad I met you at the beginning of my recovery journey, because it's been nonstop laughter ever since.
yeah, I know sometimes you'll be laughing when I'm not even being funny. You're just laughing. I'm like, that's not funny, dude. You're just dying laughing. I'm like, no, it's not funny.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad that I met you too, and when you were in early recovery, and that you set some goals for yourself, and had some
Ambition.
and some things you had to work through, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't handed to you. It wasn't overnight.
No,
You
none
know?
of it. Like I've been keep climbing the ladder after getting knocked down a couple runs, and I just haven't let it discourage me. Even like with this IRS stuff, like, well, it's life. I did it, and it all wouldn't happen if someone wasn't scandalous, but I just have to pay for it.
Yeah. But there'll be light at the end of the tunnel, at least you're making the right decisions. And is it fun? Absolutely not. But
No.
it's necessary and you need to do it. And Marnie's going to be listening to this and say, well, Corey, it's time to get on those student loan payments. I'm like, no, I'm talking about IRS.
Yeah. I owe a bunch
different.
of student loans too. I didn't realize how much money I got from student loans to keep using drugs.
Ugh.
Why? At the beginning of my meth phase. Oh, that was horrible. Horrible decision.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pay that money back.
Well,
Like they'll take your federal tax return. Like, they have that power.
do they?
Well, they say they do. I don't
Got
want
your ass.
I don't want to push your luck.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll look into it. But, I don't want to. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Toby Keith.
Yeah, Toby Keith has stomach cancer.
Yeah, stomach cancer. Yeah, because I don't even know what's going on with my stomach, and all I know is it hurts, and I should get a second opinion. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you
Go to
should.
Different part of the country or the world, anywhere but here, I think.
Yeah.
Again, no disrespect. I'm just saying.
Like when I had my stomach issues, I met with a doctor who said I had nothing wrong. And I went back to my primary doctor. I'm like, that doctor was full of crap. I'm like, he says I have nothing wrong. Well, why do I have heartburn every day and I feel like I'm going to die? But there's nothing wrong with me. And they sent me for another test and then went and seen another specialist. And he's like, well, you do got something wrong, but we're not going to fix it right now. I'm like, this is unacceptable. And I think a lot of it had to do was because I was on Medicaid. Mm-hmm. And then they referred me to another stomach doctor. And then he was like, you do have something seriously wrong. If I don't fix this, you're going to die in the next 3 years. Because my upper flap in my stomach didn't work. And it was actually eating my esophagus. And he figured within the next 3 years, it would actually eat through my esophagus and I'd be spilling stomach acid inside my body. And just eating everything up. And I have a high pain tolerance. And he was like, most people would be keeled over in bed right now. And I'm like, well, I've lived with it my whole life and just had to make do and still go to work. I remember drinking bottle after bottle of Pepto-Bismol. I would just drink the whole bottle. Gross.
Yeah. And yeah, I should be more proactive on the stomach thing, but I don't know. We had to do so much for it already, and I'm just like, they don't care. And yeah, I don't know.
You'll find one that does. You just have that faith. The same faith that you had when you started this company. And everyone told you it was impossible to start a nonprofit without an attorney.
And a judge and a lawyer, and well, I guess that is an attorney. But they told me a police officer and all these people that I needed to have on my board. And I was like,
right.
I don't know any of those people. And I looked into it myself and I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's not, I don't need that. Mm-mm. So it is what it is. But got an event coming up on the 29th of this month that you're going to talk at. It's the Recovery Stories Message of Hope Part 2.
Yep.
You getting nervous?
A little bit. I don't like crowds that I have to speak in front of. But I've been thinking about my story quite a bit because I'm doing the story portion. That's 3 minute. Yeah. So.
Are you going to be able to get to 3 minutes? Normally you've been doing this in 30 seconds.
Well, we've had multiple things that we were doing. That day you were 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then can you do it in 30 seconds? But I would like to work with it some more with you. And
yeah, we'll have to do that. And I know Rose, who's going to be one of the storytellers too, I saw her today and she's like, hey, text me, we'll get together and have everybody get together and kind of do that again and go over it and kind of get your story right. But you're not supposed to write it down. You can think about it, but don't write it down. And because it's more sincere that way and it's more boom.
Right.
Not reading from a script. And it's you just keep going. If you mess up, just keep going.
Because no one else will know.
No one will know that you messed up. Only you will know. And I'll be like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. I'll just keep going. You can be like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Hold on. Yeah. And everybody knows then. You just got to play it off.
Right.
Well, let's get out of here. Thanks for joining the podcast, Justin. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And I hope you had a good night. Watch some Traders.
Yeah.
And we'll talk again soon.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.